1979 Black July riots in Sri Lanka were a tragic and defining moment in the country's history. Hello and welcome to our podcast on the 1979 Black July riots in Sri Lanka. This event was a significant turning point in Sri Lankan history, leading to years of civil war and political instability. In this podcast, we will explore the causes and events of Black July, and the impact it had on Sri Lankan society. Sri Lanka is an island nation located in South Asia, with a population of over 21 million people. The country has a complex history, with multiple ethnic and religious groups coexisting on the island. The majority of the population are Sinhalese, who are primarily Buddhist, while the minority groups include Tamils, who are mostly Hindu or Christian, and Muslims. Tensions between the Sinhalese and Tamil communities have existed for centuries, with disputes over land, language, and political power. In 1948, Sri Lanka gained independence from British colonial rule, but these tensions continued to simmer, leading to a civil war that lasted for over 26 years. Causes: in 1977, a new government came to power in Sri Lanka, led by President J.R. Jayawardeneh. The government's policies were seen as heavily favoring the Sinhalese majority, which led to increased tensions between the Sinhalese and Tamil communities. In 1978, the government passed the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution, which made it illegal to advocate for a separate state for the Tamil minority. This was seen as a major blow to the Tamil community, who had been advocating for greater autonomy and self-determination. In July 1983, tensions boiled over into violence when 13 Sri Lankan soldiers were killed in an attack by the Tamil Tigers, a militant group fighting for Tamil independence. The Sri Lankan government responded by launching a crackdown on the Tamil community, with police and paramilitary groups targeting Tamil homes, businesses, and individuals. The violence quickly spread throughout the country, with mobs of Sinhalese attacking Tamils and their property. Thousands of Tamils were killed or injured, and many more were displaced from their homes. The government was accused of complicity in the violence, with reports of police and military forces standing by and even participating in the attacks. Events: the violence continued for several days, with curfews and emergency measures put in place by the government. The Sri Lankan military was deployed to restore order, but their actions were criticized for being heavy-handed and indiscriminate. The impact of Black July was devastating for the Tamil community, with many Tamils fleeing the country in fear for their lives. The violence also had a long-lasting impact on Sri Lankan society, with ethnic and religious tensions remaining high for years to come. Aftermath: the aftermath of Black July was marked by increased polarization and political instability in Sri Lanka. The Tamil Tigers continued their campaign for independence, with violent attacks and bombings becoming a regular occurrence. The Sri Lankan government responded with a heavy-handed military approach, leading to human rights abuses and allegations of war crimes. The civil war finally ended in 2009, with the Sri Lankan military defeating the Tamil Tigers and bringing an end to decades of violence. However, the wounds of Black July and the civil war continue to linger in Sri Lankan society, with ongoing calls for reconciliation and justice for the victims of violence and human rights abuses. Conclusion: in conclusion, the 1979 Black July riots in Sri Lanka were a tragic and defining moment in the country's history. The violence and discrimination against the Tamil community that occurred during Black July continue to have a lasting impact on Sri Lankan society today. It is important that we learn from this history and work towards a more just and equitable future. Thank you for tuning in to our video on the 1979 Black July riots in Sri Lanka. In this video, we take a closer look at the causes and events of this tragic moment in Sri Lankan history. We explore the impact it had on the country's society and political landscape, and the ongoing implications of this event. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content on global history and current events.